It's late game content, right? So you'll see at the top right-hand corner, there's that 50. That means we're level 50.
Okay.
That's late in the game. And we're going to come across somebody in need of help.
All right. So we're definitely, you know, a mercenary who's maybe feeling themselves a little bit at this point. We're pretty strong, right?
Oh, yeah. We're doing good. We've got the Adressia, our boat.
Okay.
And it should be pretty decked out at this point. And as well as our gear, if you look, he's looking pretty regal there.
Oh, yeah. So you're definitely not starting off looking this way, right?
No, you basically start off with a pair of sandals and your underwear, and then hopefully you get better from there.
Yeah, I think that's one of the coolest things, too, that I've seen about Odyssey is that as you level up, your outfit is going to change, but it's not just cosmetic this time, right?
Oh, no, absolutely not. We have an entire progression system built around, picking up new gear, dismantling it, engraving it, so you can upgrade your gear to make it for bonuses like damage, extra damage, or being impervious to certain other types of damage. And so you'll customize your arms, your chest, your legs, and your helmet with stuff you'll find on the battlefield, stuff you'll find at the end of a quest line. We have entire setups that are like you have to have all 5 pieces in order to be able to unlock these bonuses. The possibilities are endless. The permutations in terms of how many different kinds of looks you could have is ridiculous.
Yeah, and I mean it just adds another hook to keep us playing. In the end, there's now a loot grind in Assassin's Creed.
There's always a little bit more that you could go get.
Yeah.
But
so we're jumping in. We see this mob going on here. What's happening?
Sure, you can see that in the back there. You have that quest giver icon. So this person probably needs a little bit of help, but they're in trouble. So you kind of want to interact with them in order to get their story before doing anything drastic.
Snake, what's going on? We will bring this evil creature to justice.
They're lost in paranoia. They think I sacrificed my Ligia to the creature in the forest.
Hold your forked tongue. This walking curse is in league with the writhing dread. She just looks scared to me.
Please, the creature took Ligia. If I die here, who will save her?
I'll save Ligia and kill any creature that tries to stop me.
What are you saying? She will lead you to the Petrified Temple and you're doomed.
So we're getting a preview here of all of the dialogue options available.
Yeah. We have a bunch of dialogue options sometimes that are just about getting more information. You want to get to know somebody. You want to find out what their motivations are. You want to find out where they're going to take me. All sorts of like normal curiosity questions you would ask somebody you're trying to help out.
Yeah.
And they're not always like catastrophic choices where somebody lives and somebody dies. You want to have that range, right?
I love that too because Assassin's Creed has always told such awesome, rich stories and presented so many cool, unique characters. It's nice to be able to inquire more about them if I want to.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'm a quest director at UB Quebec, and building these stories that revolve around characters and the kind of troubles they have and how their daily existence affects their lives, basically, and how they could need the help of a mercenary is something that was super interesting to us. It's just like, what is that nitty-gritty of that person's reality?
Yeah. So we saw that cinematic, that conversation scene. We've now jumped into some combat because it looked like these soldiers were going to execute a helpless woman.
Yeah, exactly. So you're going to interrupt them from doing something very nasty and help the lady at the same time.
Yeah. So we just saw an amazing ability. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Abilities are something that we've really put a lot of work into. We want players to be able to customize their experience, and we want them, when they fight, to be able to be aggressive. So we have an entire tree of abilities that you can unlock that will give you different kind of powers during combat. So you can have more passive things like increased health, but you could also have a lot more aggressive abilities like everybody's seen the Sparta kick at this point, right?
So satisfying.
Amazing. I know, it's so cool. It never gets old. There's the shield break is great as well. There's a bunch of stuff you can invest your ability points in that'll give you bonuses across the board.
So we've dispatched of the soldiers.
Yeah, so she can talk. Basically, her lover is in trouble right now.
Yeah, we tease a little something that we know there's a creature in the forest, something called the writhing dread.
The writhing dread, yeah.
But it's a price worth paying.
I polished Charon's drachmi long ago, Mistios. I'm ready.
You know, I don't want to call you forever.
I love these little moments where you're kind of like, hey, I don't even know your name.
Yeah.
Tell me your name.
I just killed a whole bunch of soldiers for you. Introduce yourself.
Then let's not disappoint her. Where was she taken?
I love Alexios' voice too.
He's good at voice acting. The actress who
And
does
you're
Cassandra does
surprised she was
an
taken
excellent
by
job
Oh,
as well.
They're both amazing. Yeah, we saw that Cassandra trailer. Now we're doing the Alexios gameplay.
Both of them Greek. But,
Oh.
yeah.
Yeah, the thing I'm noticing too, I've never been to Greece myself. When I picture it, this isn't necessarily what it looks like. What type of environmental diversity does Greece have?
It's amazing. It has snowy mountaintops, like where your feet are sinking into the snow, all the way down to like that tropical paradise type stuff. Like in our E3 demo, what we were showcasing was like we call them biomes, right? So the palm trees and the beautiful, the lush vegetation, that type of thing. And now for this demo, we're moving towards what we've called our autumn biome, or it's a deciduous. I always have trouble pronouncing it, but it's a type of tree biome. And this is what we're kind of showcasing. So you see the colors have shifted a little bit away from the green, more towards the yellow, the red, that type of thing.
Yeah.
The horse is obviously back. This is not Phobos. You just kind of randomly picked him up, but you can call him at any point, any time.
And Phobos is your own horse.
Yeah. At the beginning of the game, there's a moment where we'll show you a bunch of horses, and we're like, all right, which one is this? The one you're gonna have for the rest of your playthrough.
Oh.
You pick him, and then he'll always come to you.
So it's similar to your eagle, right? Where you have.
Yeah, sure.
Last year we had Senu. This time
We have Icarus.
Icarus.
So Icarus is partnered up with Alexios. We do go into it in the story about how that works, but we haven't been spoiling it just yet.
Yeah. So we follow this woman, Brees, into what looks like this village or town that looks like it's been through some troubled times.
Yeah, she has a little love nest there with her partner, but if you look in the background, you can see things are just getting really dark and
This
gritty.
place is ours. Lygia's
It's
and
very
mine.
foreboding.
Yeah.
A forbidden place for forbidden love.
Not much of a love nest. I've seen more romantic funerals.
I found scraps of her clothes leading to the riding dread's lair. Please.
That's
we
not a
need to
direction
hurry.
I would want to go in personally.
No. I think
Time
I
to
would
find Lygia.
turn away
Lead
from
the
something
way.
called the
Yeah.
Writhing Dread.
It's funny because there's a little bit further away. You're not going to walk into it with your horse, but if you do, there's a point where your horse just nopes out. This place is so creepy. I'm not going in there.
Sometimes animals are smarter than humans. So we saw there too that there's always something worth exploring, worth seeing. That you never know where you're going to find some hidden treasure in this
The world is just filled to the brim. There are, I think it's over 600 points of interest. So we call them points of interest. They're places in the world that have a certain gameplay challenge and a gameplay reward. So it may be just taking out a few bandits in order for a couple of bucks, or it could be something like climbing a statue, getting that reach high point, and being able to fast travel. I mean, there are so many in the world. It's really impressive.
And you're going to make me clear them all out.
Hey, you know what?
That's the kind of player I am. I'm obsessive.
I am so OCD about that type of stuff. When I play these types of games, I am absolutely the same. I have to have everything. I have to have 100%. I have to make sure that I have touched and prodded every little thing in the game.
Oh yeah, that was one of my favorite parts of basically every Assassin's Creed, but especially Origins, just going in and clearing out all the map because there's so many awesome little stories hidden throughout the world.
That's the thing with the points of interest, right? They've all been modeled around like, sometimes they're little myths, sometimes they're stories, sometimes they're just like, what does a hairdresser in ancient Greece do type thing? And there's always that little connection into the world, right? It's not just free gameplay for the sake of gameplay. It's always like, how does this actually tie into ancient Greece?
Yeah. So we see here we're wandering into what looks like a fairly desolate place.
Yeah, this is the layer of the writhing dread.
Yeah.
This is all this is a huge collaboration. Like the actual island of Lesbos is built by a collaboration between the Singapore and the Chengdu studio from China.
What is this place?
And you'll see a little bit further the gameplay that we've actually built inside this temple comes from Romania. And we at the Quebec City studio who are kind of overseeing all this kind of give the directions, make sure that everybody's still going in the right directions.
Yeah.
It's a huge collaborative effort. Now this is clear. I mean, this basically here gives it away.
Yeah,
Where we're
we
going,
have
where we're headed.
Strong tease of where we're going.
It destroys all living things.
Some very lifelike statues, I'll say that.
And leaving them frozen in fear for all eternity.
I love too just the sense of even the air is still here, right? That there's these flecks
like
just
the
floating,
ash kind of floating in. Like some
Absolutely.
things don't live here; they die here.
Yes.
I had at the beginning of this, like a couple of years ago, when we were talking about Medusa and what did we want to do with them. I always had in my vision of things. I always had this guy would come down from the village into Medusa's lair during the night and grab one of those poor soldiers who was frozen, bring him back in his cart, take it back, and say, "Hey, look what I sculpted during the night," and try to get some money out. The idea never got in the game, but I was.
It makes you think twice about those hyper-realistic sculptures.
Yeah. Oh God. It was just it was that missed opportunity there.
Yeah.
We need to get inside, but I see no openings, and the walls are too smooth.
So we were talking a bit earlier. I got a background in architecture, and I got to say, this doesn't really look like Greek architecture to me.
This this comes out of, I'm going to say, the lore, right?
Yeah.
Just because there is a huge part of the Assassin's Creed universe that is unique to it, that kind of sci-fi aspect.
Yeah.
And I think I've already said too much.
Oh, yes.
This is my fault.
But, we are continuing Layla's story in the present day inside of Odyssey. And this, and I'm not going to tell you how, is tied into that.
Ah, okay. So we won't reveal too much.
No. We've already spoiled so much stuff, but it's great because there's so much content in the game that there's still tons of stuff left.
Oh no, you can't spoil this game. There's too many possible paths and routes you can take. You mentioned too, this is a continuation of Layla's story. When we saw her, in Assassin's Creed Origins. The thing I love about this game is that it is simultaneously a prequel and a sequel. Right? That you're continuing Layla's story, but doing it 400 years before.
It's the ultimate prequel, right?
Yeah.
It's before even the existence of the Assassins and the Templars, as they've been come to know. And I was talking to somebody on the floor earlier. I was like, well, you have to look at it. It's kind of like the NFL, right? So the NFL exists. It's got all its teams. People play football. But did people play football before the NFL? Well, of course they did.
Yeah.
So it's kind of the same thing. Like philosophies outlast the names of organizations. You know what I mean?
I love that. That's a really great analogy.
Did you see the creature yourself?
No, but only the riding dread would be strong enough to take Ligia. She's too fierce. And too stubborn.
You said Ligia knew how to get into the lair. Where exactly is the key?
The daughters of Artemis hide their most prized possessions in a cave.
So we have this idea that this creature has taken Ligia, that she's behind this door, and we need to go save her, but we can't get through it.
We have this is one of the most amazing things for me that happened during production was this specific key. So you need a disc. Stephanie the historian is gonna kill me because I can't remember the name of it, but it actually exists. It's something that they have in a museum, and it actually predates our story by something like 10 or 12,000 years.
Wow.
It's this artifact that they found with engravings that they can't decipher, and we were able to integrate it into the game and pose it as this key to the layer of, I'm going to say, the writhing dread.
Yes.
Right?
So we got sort of our setup here that we need the key, and now we're back on our ship, the Adrestia. Are we going to find the key?
So we're going to a neighboring island, which is just a little bit west of Lesbos, on a small island called Chios, where in theory the key is located. The great thing about Chios is that it's populated mostly by what we call a micro-faction. So I'm going to take a couple steps back. We have the two main factions of the game, right? The Spartans and the Athenians constantly vying for control of territory. But inside of that, they aren't the only ones who live here, right? We have other factions that are alive inside our world. We have the Daughters of Artemis that we're going to meet in just a few moments. They're a group of hunters and huntresses who are focused on nature. We have the followers of Artemis, these kind of cult-like zealots they're quite aggressive and they're very mean. They're fun to kill. We have the cult of Cosmos that we're going to hunt down. Their soldiers roam the world as well, and bandits as well. So the island of Chios that we're going to is really populated by these Daughters of Artemis, who happen to also be kind of your gateway to the legendary animals. So there are animals all over the world, but a few of them are special, shall we say?
Yeah.
So hunting them down and bringing them back is something that's another part of the story, completely optional, I might add, but that you can go ahead and do in the world.
Yeah, I think we're also seeing some ship sailing here. The water is absolutely gorgeous. I love these zoomed out shots.
It's crazy, isn't it? Oh my God, we were the team is so proud of what they've accomplished with it.
Oh, they should be, yeah. The thing I love about the Daughters of Artemis too is that it kind of frames that this is a world that's still very much guided by religion and belief in these deities. Artemis obviously being a Greek deity.
This period has people believing all sorts of things. Some don't believe in deities at all. Some believe in the diversity of beliefs is really impressive. And even inside specific beliefs, they'll have different stories for different deities. And you it's actually really difficult to keep track of, but it makes it super fun to tie them into the quests. So you talk to somebody whose personal beliefs are about this particular god, and you can weave a whole story just about him or her and their beliefs and how they affect their lives. It's a tremendous amount of fun.
Yeah. So we're seeing a lot of blue-sailed ships here. Who are these? So
the blue sails represent the Athenians. So Chios right now is controlled by Athens, I'm assuming, because usually the blue ships mean that are allowed to swim there, to sail there when you control the nation. But so Spartans have their ships too that protect their territories.
Yeah.
We also on the waters we also have merchant ships and pirate ships. If you start shooting on merchant ships, well then you'll gain the attention of mercenaries who'll come after you and punish you for being a very naughty Spartan.
Yeah, because obviously in this story you're a mercenary yourself, but you also can get tracked down by mercenaries.
The mercenary system is a huge system inside the game, and it's basically law enforcement, right? So you will commit an act, a bad act, I would have to say, like you kill somebody in front of other people, kill a civilian, maybe steal something.
You're not going to get desynchronized this time.
No,
around.
You don't get desynchronized. People get mad at you.
Yeah.
They get mad at you. They put money on your head, and they go, "Oh, all right, this guy just I don't know. He killed my 3 goats, and then he ransacked my treasure or whatever." So now, so a mercenary inside the world is going to grab that bounty. He's going to come after you. And we actually have a ladder system where these mercenaries exist in the world at all times. They're not just they don't spawn when they need to be spawned. They're always there, and they come hunting after you. So you can either pay for your bounty, so you can directly pay money to the sponsor. It's kind of like a hush money type thing.
Yeah.
Or you can do the head-to-head with that mercenary, and sometimes they're going to be pretty powerful. But when they're powerful and the challenge is there, then the rewards are there too.
Yeah. And for the first time too, that killing the people that are coming after you isn't your only option, right?
No, not always. The mercenaries make it really tough to talk to them.
Okay.
There are a lot of instances in the game where, you can, as opposed to, taking the violent method, and personally as a gamer, this is what I've always tried to do, is just is there a way we can talk this out?
Yeah.
Sure, I'll give you a couple of bucks if maybe we can negotiate, or maybe I'll help you out. I'll find something that your daughter needs or whatever, and then we can go our own separate ways without any bloodshed. For me, as a gamer, those are the moments that I like the best.
Yeah.
So you're coming up. See, this is a hunter's camp right here, and the key is hidden in the back. We just saw just a few minutes ago. The place is packed, and they're not going to take very kindly to you coming in there and stealing their stuff.
Yeah. So we just saw there that we scouted out with Icaros.
Icarus, yeah.
And now we waited until nighttime to attack this camp.
Yeah. So it makes more sense, right, to attack stealthily during the night.
Oh yeah.
So meditation allows you to wait half the day and just switch it over. So we have we have an entire ability tree that's dedicated just to being an assassin. So this is where you can put ability points to do more damage when you sneak up behind somebody, or when you get to those last tiers of skills, you can actually be you can purchase the chameleon skill, which allows you to be invisible for a short time. There's a lot of stuff that caters specifically to this type of gameplay.
Yeah. So yeah,
that was an amazing ability. I love that one.
Yeah.
You throw your spear and you just come right up to it and pull it out of the person, and you're moving. You can move through the environment by using this ability. It's amazing.
Yeah, that is so cool. And we saw in the lower left-hand corner there. What are those exactly? Are those the abilities we have?
So you have so many abilities that you can't use them all at once. You can only use 4 at a time. So you map them to the face buttons, and then you can hold left bumper and you hit your face buttons depending on which one you want to call.
And can we are these able to be used endlessly? How do you mitigate?
You'll see at the bottom of the screen, there's the adrenaline meter. So we were talking about fighting earlier. We put the players in a situation where they'll tend to be more aggressive, right? We give them reasons to attack. Those attacks will generate adrenaline and make them allow them to spend the adrenaline to use their abilities. So it's like this vicious loop of aggression, where the more I'm aggressive, the more I have adrenaline, the more I use my abilities, the more I'm making adrenaline, etc., etc. That's what we were going for. Just in terms of the overall feeling of combat for Odyssey, we wanted to make sure that you were the instigator.
Yeah, there's the awesome loop of, okay, I need to fight so I can build up the adrenaline so I can use an ability and then sort of, go back and forth between your strategies.
Yeah, and you get that Sparta kick out.
Oh, God. It's funny, too. I know that, the geographic, topography of Greece adds a lot of verticality to this game.
Yes.
Which makes it so satisfying to Spartan kick people off of cliffs.
There are so many places where you can do it, and when you get it just right, I'm telling you, there's no feeling like it. The first time, it must have been a couple of years ago when I joined the team, and I finally got to start playing around with this, and I got my first Spartan kick right off a cliff. It's so you'll scream out loud.
Oh, yeah.
It's insane.
So we've acquired the key,
Yeah.
and we're now returning to Greece in this petrified forest.
Exactly, and we're going to open that door and find out what's hiding behind it.
Never made it inside the lair.
But you can't forget that Breeze is there because the love of her life is in trouble.
Oh, yes.
What exactly? The mercenary carried this spear, which she claims killed the Rhine Dread.
No, the creature took Lygia.
So we only we saw one path of getting into this temple, going to the Daughters of Artemis and acquiring this key, but that's not the only way that we could have gone about this quest, right?
I think, well, to pick up the disc, you had to go through the camp.
Okay,
Yeah.
you have to go through, but I know there's an option to talk to someone maybe who claims to have defeated
you know what?
the Red.
I didn't play it that way.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I've always played it that way.
No, that's so fun. No, it's great because I played it both ways. I wanted to investigate.
How did you play it?
So you're presented this option of hey, there's this mercenary who claims to have killed the Writhing Dread. Go talk to him, see what how
Right.
he did it, what's going on. If he really killed it, why is it still taking people? And so you go talk to him. I don't want to spoil what happens, but it's one way to go about it. And then if you want to do both, you can still you can talk to him. You can go to the Daughters of Artemis. You could do it in any order you wanted.
I see. I'm gonna need that second playthrough because
Exactly.
just in terms of quests in the game, I think we went past 300.
Wow.
There are and there's so much content. I'd be lying if I told you that I was able to play every version of every quest that's in the game. There aren't enough hours in the day.
Yeah, this is just one of those quests, and we already see how much variability it has.
Yeah.
So we're inside of this petrified temple now, finally.
Oh yeah, that's creepy stuff.
Oh yeah, gosh. I see why the horse doesn't want to come in.
The floating ash gets me every time. It's just ugh.
Oh yeah. I mean, we were speaking about environmental diversity before. This feels like unlike anything that we've seen thus far.
This is not something that we're going to be reusing anywhere else. I mean, this is really unique to this portion of the game. It's all handcrafted. It's all custom made. And the funny thing is, it's optional. You don't even have to do this. It's endgame content, and it's not recycled. It's all unique stuff. There's no game over to this game. It just keeps going. It just always keeps going.
And this is something that you could do even after you finished a main campaign.
Oh yeah, you can jump into this quest line at any time you want, given that you have the right level. But there she is.
Oh, here we go.
There she is.
The Writhing Dread.
If you hadn't figured it out yet, it's Medusa.
Why does it always have to be snakes, right?
It's a great boy.
Oof.
That's gonna leave a mark. Yeah. The entire fight with Medusa was built by the Bucharest studio.
Wow, shout out to Ubisoft Bucharest.
Yeah, absolutely. They did a fantastic job.
So, walk us through this fight a little bit. What sort of abilities does Medusa have? It looks like she's trying to stare her gaze down at us.
So she has the classic gaze, right? If you stay in it too long, you'll turn. You can see the character slowing down right now. She also has the ability to call the souls that she's already. One of the funny things is you'll see that when she does call the additional soldiers, they all have names. Right?
Oh, right.
So these are all like soldiers that came into her lair and were I was gonna say eaten up, but we're like destroyed by her. But they still carry their names when they come attack you, playing her bidding. Yeah, and she has these great area of effects that you have to dodge out of the way as well.
Yeah.
And then find that one opportunity when she gives you that opening.
So here we're using an adrenaline attack, is that it? Or what is this exactly?
That's probably just additional damage. Yeah, she's not going to let you do that for long.
You can see, I mean, we've put quite a few hits on her already, and she's still got quite a bit of health left.
Yeah, yeah. She's absolutely one of the toughest fights in the game. Like it is end content.
Yeah.
We don't want this to be easy anyway, right?
No, you're not doing this as a level 1 Spartan mercenary,
absolutely
in sandals and rags. Oof.
Yeah,
laid down some good damage there.
It teleports away.
So yeah,
Calling those soldiers. See, those are the ones. They all have their own names.
Okay.
So I thought that was a great touch.
Stephanos the Builder.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah. So yeah, you gotta.
Always on the verge of turning the stone there.
I gotta say that looks like a very useful ability though.
Oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And he's got it tuned way up high. Because each of the abilities that we have has different levels that you can keep investing in, keep making sure that it gets more and more damage, more and more powerful. He is clearly maxed out.
Yeah, so not only can you unlock the ability, you can level it up.
Oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
And these abilities all come from one of the weapons he's got, right? Which is the.
No, the abilities are independent from the weapons, but the weapons will give you the opportunities to engrave them and do additional damage as well.
Okay.
So depending on whatever, if you want to use a sword, a dagger, a heavy weapon, a blunt weapon, whatever, all of those can be upgraded and they can be engraved. So like if you want to do fire damage with your giant hammer, then you can do that and you can focus on getting that type of damage.
So we just saw it there again. He's. Alexios holds up a spear, right? What spear is that?
So the spear is a connection to the first civilization. It is the spear of Leonidas.
Okay.
It belonged to his grandfather who fought the Battle of 300. I'm not going to say any more about that.
Okay.
And it is now in your possession. And it does give him combat powers that a normal man might not have.
Okay. That's how you get those area of effects.
Yeah, exactly. The area effect, the spear is the key to everything. There, you can, depending on if you go on, if you fall into the cultist hunting. So we have an entire organization of conspiracy theorists that you can hunt down, and they each carry a little shard that you can accumulate and then bring to a forge and upgrade the actual spear itself, so it does more damage and it does, and it's just more powerful.
Very cool.
Yep.
We're getting to the end of this fight.
Oh yeah,
looks like.
Ooh, that's that looked painful.
Yeah, maybe not. Oh, so we just it looks like Alexios just used another ability to heal himself up a little bit.
Oh yeah, that one it becomes essential when you're doing high damage stuff like this. The player is actually doing a really good job. That combo is amazing.
Yeah, it gives you a little bit of a second wind in a tough fight like this.
One more hit and she's gone.
Yeah, as we've been watching this too, I'm just appreciating how much you have to navigate the space while you're fighting off these stone soldiers attacking you while using the columns to avoid her gaze.
Yeah, they're staples of Assassin's Creed. You can't do just fight, you can't do just navigation. It's always better when you can mix everything up together.
So yeah, we did it.
Throwing as many challenges as you can to the player is always the best. And here's I was surprised that we actually made this public, but I really was. This type of stuff we keep secret for people they can discover on their own. But if you know the lore, if you know the license, that is something special.
So yeah, as always, Assassin's Creed's got some pieces of Eden in the background.
Yeah, we're not neglecting that.
Yeah, the spear is not the only thing. Which helps explain a little bit of these mythological figures and beings.
Absolutely. Everything that we do has to be based in a rational world. It has to be based, it makes sense inside of the lore of the universe that we build. We don't just throw around stuff because it's cool, it has to make sense. So yeah, the mythical creature.
Yes, that's Medusa. And no, you can't romance her. She's a little too focused on growing her statue collection, and she thinks you'd be a perfect addition. Good thing you're the baddest fighter in all of Greece by the time you meet her, because who wants to end their odyssey encased in stone? Come on, walk it off, because that's just the start of what she can do. She'll keep you guessing by zipping around her lair at superhuman speeds, tripping you up with energy blasts from the sky, and summoning stone warriors while protected by a force field. And if that doesn't work, she's also real good at just stabbing you. Medusa and her monstrous ilk aren't something you'll just stumble into like a bear in a cave. These fights are reserved for high-level players, and they go far beyond what you'll face while wandering the countryside or sailing the Mediterranean. Finding them takes more legwork than just tracking down a creature's lair and putting a spear through its face, and you'll probably have to go through some misguided human foes before you even get there. For example, in Medusa's case, the quest begins in Erissos, a little village on the island of Lesbos, where an angry mob is getting ready to push a woman off a cliff.
She must face justice.
The villagers are convinced the woman, whose name is Brice, sacrificed her lover, Ligia, to something called the Writhing Dread. The mob wants an execution, not justice, so right away we're showing them who's boss by kicking a few soldiers off the cliff. Brice's innocence doesn't mean the monster isn't real, of course. Ligia's trail leads away from the village and into the heart of a twisting, petrified forest filled with eerily lifelike statues. And snakes. So many snakes. At the heart of it all is, yep, that's a first civilization ruin, all right. Artifacts left behind by humanity's hyper-advanced precursors are always causing supernatural trouble in Assassin's Creed, meaning the Writhing Dread is likely something they left behind. Getting inside the temple takes a little doing, though. The key is hidden in a village of warrior women on the nearby island of Chios, and before you head over there, you might want to stop and talk to a retired mercenary who claims to have vanquished the creature before. In keeping with Odyssey's new navigation system, you'll be given a few clues to where they are, but actually finding them takes some exploration. Every step of this journey has the potential to explode into conflict. The mercenary won't reveal anything too useful or give up his Gorgon-slaying spear without a fight, and the warrior women turn out to be extremely hostile to outsiders. They also shoot fire arrows that can annihilate your health in seconds even if your level is maxed out, and when you combine that with their pet wolves and bears, a stealthy approach will probably get better results than a head-on assault. On the way to either destination, you might find yourself testing your luck in the trap-filled Tomb of Orpheus, or daring to investigate why a boat that sits abandoned in a bay is surrounded by blood. Oh, it's this guy. You could burn a few storehouses to destabilize the local tyrant, hunt deer in the hills, indulge in a little piracy, or cross swords with some masked creeps in a cave. The open world of Odyssey is full of cool discoveries, beautiful vistas, and secret treasures, so taking the long route can be rewarding. Also, given that this demo was with a level 50 character, we had a chance to try out high-end abilities like Ghost Arrows, which can go through solid objects to land perfect headshots, and how did we ever survive without them? Once it's time to venture into the heart of the mystery and confront the Queen of Snakes, you'll find a powerful foe who wants nothing more than to turn you into another statue for her collection. Keep clear of her laser-like stone gaze, and you might survive long enough to send Medusa to Hades. You can start on the path to challenging Medusa, along with just about every mercenary and villain in ancient Greece, on October 5th when Assassin's Creed Odyssey launches on PS4, Xbox One, and PC. To find out more, subscribe to this channel and visit us at news.ubisoft.com.
Assassin's Creed Odyssey, available October 5th.